I actually hate every moment that I'm on this show with Ryan. I actually realized I was at peace for the last month that he wasn't here.
It was like 3 weeks.
Well, who would, if you live it?
Hey
in
man,
peace
I didn't
your
even.
whole
I had
life,
nothing
it's
to
gonna be a
do
boring
with
life.
this, though.
It is a boring.
I had nothing to do with
Yeah,
this.
but you've been complaining for the last 3 weeks. It's like, man, our show is not up to par.
I know without Ryan, it's not.
Yeah,
without
but
Ryan, it's the problem is.
But then you hate it when I am here.
because when Ryan is here, the format goes to shit. But when he's not here, the
Dude,
format.
you just explained how last week's format just flew out the
Oh
window.
Lord.
That's true.
Oh, it's good to be back, isn't it,
true.
Ryan?
Prodigal son returns.
The prodigal son was a drunken gambler that nobody wanted around. Just remember that.
But he came back.
They came back.
So,
Right up the ship.
as many of you know, I am a part of the Asian Pacific Studies program. That's my minor on campus. And the program is trying to raise money.
Wait, I kind of want to get this in the shot for that story. Go on, continue.
That's perfect. So they want to
Ooh.
raise money for the program, etc. So one of the things they did is they said, okay,
Hang on. Also, really quick, me saying, hang on, I want to get this in the shot for this story. The only thing you've said leading up to this is, you know that I'm in Asia Pacific Studies. That seemed really racist. It's not. It has to do with what he's talking
it
about.
has to do with what I'm talking
not-
about. Okay.
I'm not just like, he said Asian.
That equates to panda.
So in order to raise money, they made a deal with the Panda Express on campus, the one that Ryan bought from.
Delicious.
Where basically, like, students who buy from them on like a certain day or something, they get a 10% kickback to the Asian Pacific Studies program. And I mean, first of all, just in and of itself, it is just this sort of weird contextual,
Spherical shape.
It's a thing to unravel when the Asian Pacific Studies program is cutting a deal with the Panda Express. I mean, granted, they probably did for financial purposes because it is probably the most popular fast food restaurant on campus.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, it's still an Asian Pacific Studies program making a deal with an organization that basically is commodifying Asian culture and Asian
Yeah.
cuisine into a very American. It's the globalization.
whitewashing. Yeah.
It's the globalization. That's the term that white people use to make it more.
It's a nice
appropriate.
way of saying
yeah.
we're-
It's the globalization of
Yeah.
Gotta
Asian
whiten
culture.
you up.
Yeah. So, but here's the funny thing though, and the reason why when I found out about it, I was kind of like, man, it's kind of fucked up a little bit. Only because have you guys seen the recent Panda Express commercial for
No.
the
No.
five flavor
I
shrimp?
have.
Have you? Okay.
Yes,
so
I have.
basically the 5 flavor shrimp commercial for Panda Express is like this. There is a very beautiful, I'm assuming Chinese model.
Did you just assume her?
Well, it is Panda Express,
Panda
Chinese
Express, yes.
food. I'm assuming she's a Chinese model, but could be any Asian, possibly. But well, not our Asian, I guess. But that's a different conversation, Courtney. Actually, tonight I need to have a conversation with you.
Oh, yeah,
about
that's
that.
right,
Okay.
yeah.
But anyway, let's say a Chinese model. So a Chinese model, and there is a guy. Guess what ethnicity he is?
White.
He's white. And so basically they are crossing
America.
paths all the time at their apartment complex, the grocery store, jogging on the street. Everywhere they go, they happen to pass by each other, but they don't really notice each other. It's like one of those serendipity things where they just happen to not quite, have that connection.
Yeah.
But then it just so happens
At a
they're
Panda
both
Express.
at Panda Express eating the 5 flavor chicken. She's walking by.
The shrimp that
It's
brings
a
them
shrimp.
together.
It's a shrimp, not
Well,
chicken.
It's actually the fortune cookie. Her
Yeah, it's
fortune
fortune
cookie floats away and it lands on his desk and it says something vaguely like, oh, you'll meet someone great or something like that, or your fortune will change. I don't know, something bogus. Anyway, he looks at it and then he looks up and she looks back and their eyes meet and you just know it's yellow fever. It is basically Panda
God.
Express doing a commercial about yellow fever. Like I was horrified. I think anybody who might not be familiar with that type of a cultural
With yellow fever.
Yellow fever?
well, aware of the concept of that cultural phenomenon might not have been like, oh, this is a guy and a girl meeting. But I think everybody in my Asian Pacific program, like the students, were like, oh man, did they just make a commercial about yellow fever? Like, is that what's happening here?
Yeah.
But
Panda
I would-
Express.
Exactly.
Panda Express.
You know what is kind of funny about that? It's kind of like your Asia Pacific studies are like, oh, that was messed up. but we need the money.
Yeah.
Let's pander anyway.
I mean, really, when you think about, actually, this is actually a concept in Asian Pacific Studies where it's basically that a lot of cultures that bring, their businesses here, whether it is a.
Oh man.
Do I want to know?
No, you don't. It's going down on Facebook Live right now.
Right, really?
I think it adds to the
It
story.
does really add to the
What?
story. Nothing.
Is it something I'm gonna be horrified by?
You might be.
Makes so much sense.
It kind of
It makes so
this-
much sense.
Just
Is it insulting to me?
no.
Oh, good.
Well,
It
well,
enhances the story. I'll tell you after we start the show.
Okay. Well, the point is, actually, I mean, a lot of ethnic businesses, like if it's like a Pakistani business, if it's Chinese business, etc., laundromat, restaurant, whatever. I mean, they're essentially not just selling the actual commodity of their business; they're actually selling the exotic ethnicity of it also. So, I mean, the commodification of that is that is a thing.
yeah.
Anyway, all right, that's enough Asian Pacific Studies
Heavy stuff.
theorizing. Yeah. Well,
I'm a panda.
this is what we've been missing. Gosh.
I'm a rascal.
All right, and with that,
Are we starting?
we are starting. So I'm gonna, all right, here we go.
Get ready.
Okay, I don't understand what.
I'm really confused right now.
exactly.
What-
Dude,
what
I
happened?
didn't hear anything you guys were talking about right now. I just heard the song and I saw your faces like
Well,
We were talking.
the problem is, I'm curious. Basically, you said, "Oh shit!" Like something happened on Facebook
no,
Live,
okay.
and
So what
You
Facebook
were a
Live,
panda,
you
that
were a
whole
panda
story.
because they have like
It was
not
a
the whole
filter.
story. It was towards the end. It was a filter that turned your face into a panda,
Which is
and that's
awesome.
what I was cracking up about.
oh, okay. Well, I guess
Yeah.
I'll see that
yeah.
for the.
So it's a little
Okay.
creepy. It's a little
Pretty
creepy.
creepy, pretty.
But
little.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Okay, I mean, it's well done. I'm glad that you're the master
Dude,
of.
we had a lot of, panda like merchandise
well, we
marketing for
actually,
that
guys.
story.
Even though I was
We were talking crap
basically,
about them, but we're like,
but I was talking crap about the globalization of Asian culture, about basically the commodification of exoticism. At the same time, yes, we are sponsored by Panda Express.
I was
Thank
going
you.
to say, Panda, contact us
And
if
we
you
are
want to sponsor our show.
I was talking about getting the format
Hey, man,
right. I talked to a
sponsor us.
guy who did
Exactly.
a radio broadcast in college. He gave me a lot of tips recently, so I'm trying to expand.
Yeah.
Let me tell you one thing about Facebook Live from last week that I thought was
That you didn't
so
do.
funny. That was
What?
like, I think I mentioned it briefly last week, but you guys weren't here. Last week, no, it was the week before. It was a week before when Courtney was on. And basically, though, the joke that we were talking about was the whole thing about how Ken's sister, Tiff, has a crush on Courtney.
Oh.
And basically, in that video, on the comment stream, you see the usual people commenting, which basically means Courtney's mom and Ryan's mom. No joke. Courtney's mom and Ryan's mom were having a
My mom
conversation.
comments on our stuff.
Yes, and she's having a conversation with Courtney's mom. And in the middle of this conversation during our Facebook Live, the very last comment is Tiff Tran, who says, "I'm not a lesbian."
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was there. I don't know what to say to that, but
Well,
it
I
was
mean, you
there.
said you had something to say. Well, what
No,
would you...
he had something to say about trying to find a date for a wedding.
Oh yeah. My old roommate's wedding's coming up on Sunday, and I have no date. I did that +1 thing when I still had a girlfriend, and
That's
now,
right.
and it's always like you as a guy when you try to bring a date to a wedding, it's a really tricky thing.
Yeah.
You're in
Why
like
is
a
it
weird
tricky?
position right now because
Yeah.
you're because he's asking someone who he's not going to really know and be like, "Hey, you want to come to this wedding?" Like that's
I've
kind of
done
a
that.
big that's
I mean,
a big ask for a.
I don't see how it's tricky.
Did you ask a
I could-
stranger,
I could-
Noosh?
Well, not a
Weird.
stranger, but
A
somebody who
friend.
is not that close to me.
Yeah.
But like a
Yeah.
friend.
Actually, the last
Acquaintance.
time I brought a +1 to any like party event or anything,
It was
Yeah.
me.
I actually no.
It probably was.
Well, no,
No
actually,
way.
well, it probably was. But the last time I brought a girl, I guess, to
Yeah,
a a event +1 sort of thing. Was like just like a person I knew vaguely from school, who I kind of vaguely knew from work too. But the point is, I just asked her to come with me to this. It was work. It was Arvado's Christmas party. And
Ciamara.
Ciamara. And what I did though was I tried to pass her so hard on to Ryan. I was like, dance with Ryan. Like I don't know why. I tried to like really like wingman for Ryan so hard that I'll bring
that was
a girl.
weird. You really were trying to
bring a girl
give me your
to
date.
give him the date.
Wow, you're nice.
I mean, she was cool. We didn't like nothing.
Yeah.
We
But
didn't really like
that's
talk
kind
or
of
anything.
awkward though. If she came with you and then you're trying to pawn her off.
It
on
was
somebody
awkward.
Else.
Well,
That's
then
weird.
Fabio really tried to get in there. That's really what happened.
yeah.
Mostly, she was kind of just like hanging out with you, and then Fabio's like,
Yeah.
"Hey."
Trying to get a ball in that.
See, now I don't know what to do. I think I should just go solo or something. What do you guys think?
You should bring a guy, man. Just bro it up.
Noosh is asking to come.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to a wedding.
I told you
weddings,
he wouldn't go.
weddings. I don't. I want to be asked though.
You want me to ask?
I want the invite. I
want the invite. I want to just turn it down.
Actually, I just realized I got invited to, because I work here at KDHR on the radio station. I got invited to the radio station, or the ASI, the student body's end of the year party thing, and it's a +1 thing too. Hey, you want to go?
I guess.
All right. I mean, actually, dude,
Wait,
there's
is there
a
drinks
lot.
there?
There might be, probably,
Oh.
but on top of that, I think there is. I mean, it's at a place. There's drinks. But
It's
on
at a
top of that,
place.
listen, there's some really cute girls in ASI, dude. Like some really cute front desk girls.
Are you
There's
asking
like-
me to go so I can wingman for you? Or?
No, so we can wingman for each other.
I have a girlfriend.
What about me?
Oh yeah, that's right.
What the fuck is wrong with
I
you?
forgot.
You've been gone too long, Ryan. He
Dude,
doesn't know
you don't
anything
talk
about
to
your
me
life.
for 2 weeks and you act
doesn't
like
know
I haven't.
anything
You don't even know
about
who
your
I
life.
am.
What about me, you jerk face? I'm the one that needs to date.
That's true, but there's one problem, man.
What?
Ryan is really good at getting girls.
No,
don't know-
I'm not. And why you used to say the same thing about
No,
him.
Ken is
Dude,
really
Noosh,
specific.
you are really,
I'm really
Ken?
specific.
making yourself.
Ken
I was gonna say,
gets
keep
a-
digging that hole, man.
Ken gets
real.
Asian girls all the time. That's not the market. That's in the ASI office.
I would.
Wow.
I want to. I don't even know what to say. I'm like, what?
You just got done talking about how Panda Express is racist, and you're over
No,
here.
no. That's not a That's literally. I've known Ken
Hey.
for like 10 years.
His girlfriend.
Yes. How
was
many of my girlfriends have
not
been Asian?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dude, Noosh,
How many
what the
girls have I
fuck is
dated that
wrong
were
with
Asian?
you?
That's true. You know what it is? It's that.
Dude, just stop. Stop
No.
talking.
It's remember that thing that I always used to say about you, how you're really greedy with the Asian girls. You know.
You say
In
that
my
all the time.
In my mind, I was just like, well, Ken only gets Asian girls.
Dude, Noosh, I swear to God, man, you make a joke or some sort of comment to yourself, and that becomes so prevalent that the actual universe that everyone else lives in no longer matters.
It's true.
This must be true.
It's true.
Dude, you even hung out with my
I-
girlfriend, and you're like, you should come, there's cute girls.
I've literally.
You can't come, because there won't be Asian girls. Jesus.
And welcome to Ryan and Noosh Are Dead.
Whoa. That's my line. Welcome to another episode of
Noosh sucks
Whatever
at being
this
a friend.
Noosh doesn't remember anything.
Noosh doesn't remember anything. I can't even remember to make up a fake name for the show today. Well, it's fine. I'm your
Oh.
host, Anushka Kumar Singha.
Ryan Walters, another host, irritated. I don't really know what else. I don't really know how else to.
Courtney.
I should have just said pass.
And Ken.
Also a pass.
Yeah. By the way,
Noosh, you just make things up in your head and you just think it's true.
I do.
Well, currently, so let's keep score. So
Well-
Ryan doesn't have a girlfriend. I'm a lesbian, and Ken only dates Asian girls.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Sounds about right.
All three are wrong out there. All three are wrong.
The
Actually,
wrongest.
The wrongest is you.
How is that the wrongest?
Because
The most wrong.
the most wrong. Only because of the fact that Ken made a really valid point. He said straight up, how many girls have you known that I've dated who are Asian? And it really hit me that, wow. in
How many
10
girlfriends has Courtney had?
Well, I mean, I've only known Courtney for 2 years. So.
See, okay, I think Ryan's one should be the most immediate because you
Dude,
know he does.
Yeah, and you've hung out with her.
It's true.
And her, you're pretty sure she hasn't had one. And me, it was like you just saw it. You saw I had dated non-Asian women, and you still say it.
Well, but by the way, funny thing about Well, I don't even know if I should say this. I feel like everything I say from here on out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Let's see how it goes.
I'll say this funny thing about somebody I know. I no names, but basically, apparently, one of the girls that we know in that ASI girls group over there. There's a lot of girls in ASI. Anyway, one of them though, super cute. I was just like immediately smitten with her immediately. And I was like, oh man, she's so cute, blah blah. But one of my friends said something funny that she said in a class. I guess she has a class with her.
Yeah.
And I guess they were talking about, everybody has to say like what one of their strengths are and one of their weaknesses are. And she said that one of her weaknesses is that she has no empathy for people. And I was like, oh man,
Dang.
that's like
Oh, stay away.
that's
That's a pretty
please.
bad weakness.
that's literally sociopath.
I was
a
gonna say,
sociopath.
I think that's a sign.
I don't understand
I mean,
human emotion.
it kind of makes her a little hotter though, just a little bit.
What?
Noosh,
A little bit.
To
you're
you?
one sick puppy, man. You got.
I'm into poor
I only like
girls.
poor, dirty girls that are crying and people who have no feelings.
They have no feelings. Sociopath, Asperger's.
He's like,
Asperger's. Wow, I'm not sure I'm there yet, but I could get there. I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean by get there? Like ask her out?
No, I mean like maybe
he means he wants to date a girl with Asperger's.
maybe I'll get to that point. I'm already at the point where I'm interested in girls who are, like Ryan said, poor and what was the other thing?
Dirty and
Oh,
sad.
dirty and sad. That's
Wow,
right.
the trifecta.
The
And also,
trifecta.
also apparently, girls with no empathy.
No empathy, sociopaths.
You're just
You know what I
going for
hate?
that's
Dun,
like
dun,
the goal.
You know
to
what I hate
attain.
about this show though? Somehow, I mean, this is only because we have been gone for so long. I mean, Ryan has
It's been
dead.
3 weeks.
Ryan's been dead for 3 weeks. Courtney went off to do some stuff.
Hey, man, I'm like a really extended Jesus.
You are.
3 days, 3 weeks.
Well, you're
Hey,
procrastinating.
you're lining up there, man.
You're procrastination, Jesus. You kind of waited till.
I'm laid back Jesus.
Well,
You know.
yeah,
you already deadlines.
laid back Jesus.
Cool, guys. I'll come back. I'll come back whenever.
3
Don't worry
days,
about it.
5 days. What's the difference?
Well,
Nah,
laid
it's
back-
got to be a 3. 3 days, 3 weeks.
Thing is,
Maybe next time it'll be 3 months.
Jesus needed a ride down here, so finally
It's
found
true.
one.
Yeah.
Laid back Jesus doesn't need a ride.
Laid back Jesus.
Still needs a ride, man.
What was the other thing you guys wanted to mention before we got started with the
That you
actual
suck?
episode? God, man. Why
You know
gotta
what's
make
what's
this
funny
about me?
actually about this? There was one more thing I wanted to say about this. You have all these outlandish ideas
Assumptions.
and assumptions of people,
Yeah.
but then you also make up these like wrong like jokes about yourself, like, oh, I only like sad, dirty girls.
Yeah.
Which is
But then you're like, oh, why does everyone think that I only like that? Like for a long time, it was Noosh only likes girls that are like too young.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for
When I was-
years,
for
years
years.
and years and years. It
Well,
was
actually, the simple fact that my high school friends and my early college friends are kind of, they went to different states.
Yeah.
So I don't see them anymore. That joke kind of died out. And
no, it didn't. It just spread. It didn't. There's people in Oregon who are like,
Yeah.
hey, there's a guy named Noosh and he really
Yeah.
wants underage girls.
yeah. That was,
Watch out for that
so
one.
that was-
you're your own catalyst. in that
yeah, I mean,
also.
basically, though, there's a lot of assumptions about me that I just kind of like mediate
jokingly
and I
push out
spread.
there.
Yeah.
So you spread it
Because only because I
Yeah.
think it's funny, and then I just immediately think to myself, man, for a while actually, for example, I always act like the Joey character, the
Yeah.
foolish one, and then I'm always saying things like, since I was like 15, I'd always say like, man, why do people think I'm dumb? I'm not. Like I'm kind of like pretty intelligent actually, but
You're more like
I-
the Chandler.
thanks, man. I appreciate that actually.
You're funny and you say weird things and you have weird fears.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, and when I'm with Ryan, I'm more witty. When I'm not, I'm just sad, weird
So you're Ross.
guy. I'm Ross.
He's all three. He's the trifecta.
I'm Ross when Ryan's not with me. I'm Chandler when he is.
There you go.
Yeah, we're both Chandler when we're together.
We're usually both
Everybody's a Chandler.
part of everything.
Okay, so look, let's
get
get
to it.
started. So, actually, before we
Oh,
start,
on that note
Yeah.
of who's who, I chose Rick and Morty because we've had this
Yeah.
discussion before where we're not really sure who's who's. But
we're
between
both Rick,
and
we're both Morty. It's kind of like
We're both Rick. We're both Ricks and Mortys.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of both. I guess you're Rick more in the sense of like, I mean, you're kind of outrageous.
Yeah, crazy
You're-
schemes.
You're really obsessed
Yeah.
with going on schemy adventure things.
Yeah,
And I'm Morty in the sense that I typically
You put up with me.
I put up with you, and I'm sort of like, I guess. Okay.
I mean, your first response to a lot of my outlandish ideas is like, do we have to? Is this really necessary? Why can't we?
Come on, man, we got to go get that dratini nest at the park for 6 hours. Oh, there's another one way at the bottom of the hill. I know you're overheating and you're like sweating through your shirt. Just give me your phone. I'll do it for you.
And I vertically, actually, we're leaving.
That
We're at the
happened.
car.
I was sitting on the ground.
A dratini spawned at the top of a hill, and I said, I want to go get it. And Ryan's like, do we have to? I don't want to. And I said, I'll take your phone. And I ran up a straight up vertical face of like a hill, like straight vertical. I just ran up that hill to get it. Didn't matter.
Yeah, I was not doing that. So I guess we're both Rick and Morty.
But how are let's flip it. So
the
how
reverse.
am I?
You're a Morty because you're, you know,
What? I don't
Morty.
know.
Like, just the whole like, I don't know, like you have the weird fears thing.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Kind of like you got a little bit of I want to say, and this in a nice way, young at heart.
Okay, yeah, it's true.
14-year-old
Naivety.
mentality.
Yeah, it's true. I do.
In some
can agree to that.
senses.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that I'm.
Kind of a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
I
sounds
kind of make
alright.
fun of you a little bit. I don't show my affection for you because there is none.
Right. I mean, well,
Your opinion means very little to me.
when
Morty.
when I hug Ryan, he doesn't hug back. That's the relationship.
okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I chose Summer for you. You haven't seen the show, right?
I've seen some episodes, but I haven't followed
I was
it.
gonna say, I forgot the mom's name.
I mean, mom and dad. That's
Mom and dad. Well, yeah. I didn't choose her because she drinks a lot and she has like all these weird marital problems, and that's kind of what her character is defined by. Summer is mostly like a normal person. So that's who I chose
You
for
okay.
her.
And Ken.
I didn't do one for
Oh.
Ken because I don't know who Ken could be in Rick and Morty.
Ken's bird person.
Yeah, actually, bird person works.
Yeah. Or you know,
Phoenix person now.
Phoenix.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Well, not he's alive again.
I'm Snuffles. That I just showed up for one episode and
Actually,
Spaced
but,
out.
You know what? One of the funny things about this whole thing is, have you guys
Poopy
ever?
What's his name?
Oh, Mr. Poopy Pants.
Yeah,
Mr.
Mr.
Poopy
Poopy
Pants.
Pants.
You know, I realized actually this is kind of, by the way, we did it again. Well, whatever. But you know the thing is, have you guys seen those shows? I have an example, but I don't want to use it. But those shows where
Why?
there's a main cast. Part of the main cast leaves for a while, and they introduce a new cast. And then the show kind of like tries to sustain itself with that new cast, new adventures, new blah blah. And then the old cast comes back, and some members of the new cast stay. And it's just like, all right, it's.
The only show that I can think that follows that example is 90210 when it was on
Okay.
air.
I mean,
well, you're not talking about Fast and the Furious again, are you? Because remember,
Oh, that works too.
That kind of
Yeah.
works too. I mean, I'm glad. Okay,
Everybody
I
just
don't
met.
even need to use my. It's fine.
wait,
what show were you talking about?
What
though?
show were you talking
He
He
about?
doesn't want to do it because he wants to use it for the thing.
No,
one
because
day.
nobody will know what I'm talking about.
I might. What is
Mystic
it?
Knights of Tirna Nog.
Nope.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah. Do you remember
Oh,
that? It's
Ken-
I don't remember
Ken
it. I
maybe.
It
don't
was
remember.
one of those American Sentai, Power Rangers, VR Troopers, Beetleborgs type shows, but it took place
VR
in
Troopers.
Mystical. Was it called again?
the Mystic Knights of Tirna Nog. But the
Okay,
main thing
I have to look it up first.
The main thing I remember, there's an arc where
Oh, it's
three
a s-
members of the main crew were gone for a while, and I think it was like the girl and somebody
Oh.
else left over. And a new guy came. He was like the Knight of the Woods, and then he was like helping them for a while, and then the rest of the crew came back, and then they became like a whole unit. But anyway,
It's one of those.
It was
one of those Saban spin-offs that didn't
Yeah.
work out for Power Rangers.
why do I have to remember these things? Why do I have to remember?
Dude,
all
why?
these
Yeah,
things?
you remember really bad, stupid, insignificant
I
things.
do.
You should just
And
work.
then
But
you
he,
forget-
he remembers
But then
the
he
weird stuff that
forgets-
he comes up with.
Yeah, and then he forgets real life
Yeah,
around him.
nothing else is important. You know what I
Nope.
am? Have you guys
Put your
ever?
own narrative.
Have you
Yeah.
guys before we even? Okay, I'll say this. Have you guys ever read or heard about the series called the Flatlands Trilogy or the Plainverse Trilogy? It's basically a mathematician who wrote a series of
Oh, yeah.
romance adventure novels that take place in various dimensions. Like he wrote a straight up novel that takes place in 2 dimensions with 2-dimensional characters. The main characters are squares. He created an entire society around what would it be like if you lived in a 2-dimensional world.
Yeah.
And the whole story, though, is about how a being from the 3rd dimension comes down to the 2nd dimension and takes the square on a journey to other dimensions and, down to the 1st dimension, to 0 dimensions,
Yeah.
all the way up to the third dimension. Of course,
Interesting.
the sphere doesn't believe there is such a thing as the fourth dimension, because how could there be anything greater than 3 dimensions? But the point is, in the 0 dimension, there is only one being. The being is called the dot. The dot is the only thing that exists in the 0 dimension.
That's
and
you.
And the dot is unable to. The dot is the universe itself, and the
he's
dot
the
is unable to believe in anything that exists outside of itself. It believes that even the square and the sphere that visited the dot,
Yeah.
it believes the square and the sphere are just aspects of itself. It's just a figment of its own
Yeah, Noosh is the
mind.
dot.
Yeah, I'm the dot.
You dot.
I mean, if this was a planiverse, I'm the dot. Ryan's the square. You're the sphere. You're you're
Yes.
a,
I below. What?
oh, actually, no.
What?
There is a one dimension. The one dimension exists on a line.
It's a line, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd be a point on a line.
Oh, great.
Okay, so let's just start. So
Let's talk about some experiments.
today's episode, the topic is experiments
Yes.
of any kind. So
Dun
let's
dun dun.
hand it over to Ryan. Let's get this show started.
Cool. So what do you guys think, or maybe you might know, what is the fastest man-made object?
A rocket.
The fastest man-made object. It's the Super Hadron Collider, right?
Well, let's not count that, because that's
Okay.
we're not creating, we're shooting atoms at each other.
Right.
So I mean,
So it's a man-made object.
like an
What-
yeah.
It's those rockets, right?
The
The
record,
Yeah.
the record was held by New Horizons, I think,
Okay.
and that's going at like 38,000 miles per hour.
Wow.
Is it
We
piloted?
didn't launch it. New Horizons? No, it's like the little probe thing that took pictures of what have you.
Okay.
But we didn't launch it at 38,000 miles per hour. It's getting like gravity assists from going around planets and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But still, 38,000,
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty fast.
Yeah.
I'd
To
say
say
that's
the
faster
least.
than Superman.
That is what I believe to be, from my research, that's the officially recognized fastest man-made object, but it's not the fastest. Let's talk about the nuclear-powered manhole cover.
Okay.
All right, so back in the 50s, America just fucking loved setting off nukes.
Right.
We loved it.
It was the age of the atom.
It was. So lots of nuclear tests, but with all those shitty side effects like fallout and stuff, kind of sucked. So they wanted to start testing nukes in a way that would limit fallout. So in Los Alamos
How nice
in
of them.
1956, they started testing nukes underground, thinking, well, if it's down there, it's not gonna,
Yeah.
Can't possibly go up.
yeah. So it started real simple. They just dug a 500-foot deep hole in the desert, put a bomb in there, set it off, and then they would measure.
Wait, hold on, stop. So, and this is a time before they really understood the concept of a dirty bomb, how material gets irradiated. They just planted the bomb underground and they just blew
They
it
didn't
up.
even really plant it. They just dug a hole and they put it in there and they blew it up.
Okay.
It wasn't like they didn't bury it or anything.
Right.
It was just 500-foot hole.
Yeah.
Drop it in.
Rolled a bomb down there.
Well, this is pretty much like junior high. Throw some freaking cherry bombs down the freaking
Right.
boys' bathroom.
Well, this was prior to this. They were just like, hey, let's just set it off over there.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
see what happens. And they're like, a lot of people are getting cancer. That kind of sucks. So they like dug a hole and they stuck it in there, thinking, well, we'll just stay down there. So they had, like a high-speed camera and a bunch of other instruments on the surface to see if anything was coming out. They had high-speed.
I mean, like, we were making like a small gas leak or a couple little spurts of dirt, but it's not a big thing.
Typically, what they used were 500 feet deep and like 4 feet wide.
4 feet.
Yeah. So they were using high-speed cameras that recorded 1 frame per millisecond. It's important to remember that.
Okay.
Later.
1 frame, okay.
Per millisecond. So that's
Right.
like a really high-speed camera. I mean, that's good. All right. So mid-1957, they decided that they wanted to start trying to cap off these holes, like cover them, instead of
Just letting
just
it come
letting
out.
it come out.
Right.
By the way, that's like a year and a half later. But they're like, well, let's start burying
maybe
these.
cover
it's
it.
kind of smelling a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
So one of these tests was named Pascal, and what they did is they covered it with a 4-inch thick metal lid, and it's solid metal,
Yeah.
just manhole cover basically. And hundreds of feet below that, they had a several-ton concrete plug. So they had the lid on top. A few hundred feet down, they had this like really big concrete plug. And they also had a like an instrument that was attached to the lid that hung down into. There was a hole in the plug instrument that went down there to measure like the explosion and stuff.
It was like one giant toilet bowl lever. Kind of.
No. More like you know what it is? It's more like a sink.
Okay.
I would say they had this big plug in the middle that was containing the explosion and what have you. They had a lid on top of that, hundreds of feet above. That was just sort of there to like make sure nothing got out.
Right.
And so the bomb that they used was experimental. It was new, but it also had what they called 1-point safe. It was 1-point safe, meaning it had multiple trigger points, like a bunch of trigger points. And if it ever set off accidentally, it would only trigger one of those triggers.
Yeah.
So it would be
the
whole bomb wouldn't go off. It
Right.
would be like a little. I mean, relatively speaking, compared to like a huge megaton nuke, it would be a small explosion. I mean, when I say, I mean, you'd still be dead if you were nearby. It'd be a big explosion, but compared to
everyone dying,
the entire thing going off.
When we're talking about explosives, everything's relative.
Right, relatively small explosion.
Right.
So they put that at the bottom, and for this test, they were just trying to test the structure of the hole. They wanted to, figure out. They were trying to see how much would go off with a single trigger with that little instrument that they had hanging from the lid.
Mm-hmm.
So they only wanted that single trigger. So at 10:35 p.m. on August 27th, 1957, they detonated the bomb. Instead of the small one-trigger explosion that they wanted, they got an explosion that was 100,000 times bigger than what they were trying to do. It instantly vaporized the concrete, multiple-ton concrete plug that was there, vaporized in an instant. And it turned this shaft into a 500-foot, 4-foot wide long cannon. And at the other end of that was just that 4-inch metal lid. So let's talk about how fast the thing, because obviously launched it.
Right.
Yeah.
The high-speed camera, the top number records 1 frame per millisecond.
Right.
Only caught part of the cap for a single frame. Not because the camera was malfunctioning, it was just going that fast.
Yeah.
So even recording, I mean, and it's hard to sort of describe how fast that is. I mean,
But yeah.
high-speed cameras, what it's doing is cameras work like, it takes a shutter. Like a video camera is just taking pictures,
It's still frame
tons and
images.
tons and tons
Right.
and tons of pictures super quickly, so then it
So
plays
it keeps
them
the
together.
movement going. Yeah.
Right. So this is doing it so fast that it's taking a picture like every millisecond, and it still only caught part of the thing as it was flying off. So based on that, they calculated how fast it was going on the footage, because it's simple math. I mean, it's not simple, but it's like
It's relative.
right. Here's
to them.
if it takes a frame is this many milliseconds, then blah blah blah, whatever. So later calculations found that it launched at over 150,000 miles per hour. That's 45 miles per second,
What?
Wow.
and 6 times Earth's escape velocity.
Dude, it went to space.
That's 9 times faster than a space shuttle, and obviously much faster than New Horizons. Here's the thing: no one knows what happened to it. We never found it. Obviously,
Right.
They weren't looking. They didn't think that
It
this was
started
going to
its own
happen.
planet.
So
Now in
Yeah.
our solar system.
one of two things happened. It's either the only thing in human history to have evaporated and melted and burned up trying to leave the atmosphere rather than coming down, or it's still screaming through space somewhere. I mean, they think... The thing is, it wasn't like aerodynamic. It wasn't anything. So they think, well, it probably just burned up in the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
But the counter argument to that is it was going so fast that some people don't... Like, some scientists think it wouldn't even have enough time in the atmosphere to actually burn up. It would have
Yeah.
been out so quickly that it wouldn't have, melted some of it, but not all of it.
It would just be. It wouldn't be recognizable as a sewer.
Right, it wouldn't
cover,
be the
but
same shape, but it would be just a hunk of metal
Yeah.
still going like 135,000 miles.
It landed on a distant planet. The people that lived there started worshiping it and started a religion based
They're
off
dead
of
if
it.
that happened. I mean, that'd be
It's
pretty,
the
pretty
first.
substantial damage.
It's the first weaponized.
It's a railgun, dude. It was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow. It's intense.
yeah. And I mean, 45. What's 45 miles from here?
I have no idea.
Because I'm trying to. I was
Oh,
trying
no,
to.
I can tell you. It's
I was
45
trying to
miles
get
from
like
here.
an actual
Dude,
real world
dude,
idea of
I
how
can tell
fast
you,
that is. Because it's
45 miles from here is where you live, dude. Yeah.
Imagine going from here to Valencia in a second.
Yeah.
That's.
You just have to blink and you'll be there.
Man, that's
By
fast.
the time you open your eyelids, you'll
Yeah.
be home.
It's actually. It's like a point. It's like 0.2% of the speed of light. Like that's how fast it was going. Or 0.02.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Goodness, that's faster than you re-energizing on the Enterprise. That's the nerdiest thing I'm gonna say of the day.
Yeah. Unfortunately, still not recognized as the fastest man-made thing.
Well, you know.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like we had something that measured how fast it was going. It was calculations that we had to
It's
make.
guesstimates.
I mean, not really guesstimates. It's like it's math. It's solid math,
Well,
but it's like
still,
Also, it doesn't
It's
count
not
unless you
verifiable.
wanted to do it, I guess. Is
I
there
guess they should
argument.
redo that experiment
Yeah.
and like put like a little like speedometer thing on that.
I mean, they should redo that experiment, but like aim it somewhere.
Aim it
That's what the military would do. Turn it into a weapon.
It's true.
I mean, they shouldn't do that, but I'm saying that's what they would do.
Yeah, I mean,
Weaponize.
Weaponized
Like,
manhole cover.
Manhole cover.
Yeah.
Oh man, those.
or just make it in the shape of a giant bullet.
yeah.
If
that-
you're gonna
I
do
got
that.
too real.
Giant bullet?
Well, then it's a railgun.
That's a railgun.
Yeah, giant bullet. Super Mario.
Oh,
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill
Bullet
does
Bill.
make bullets
Boom,
less.
boom.
Bullet Bill. Yeah.
Yeah,
They make bullets less scary.
because there's a face on him.
Yeah, ironically,
An
it's a
angry
scary
face.
An
too.
angry face.
Yeah.
They move a lot slower, but they have a really angry
You can
face
dodge
on.
them, and you
Yeah,
can
dodge 'em.
destroy them by jumping on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's. You know what? Actually, whenever I played that, the smaller ones were worse for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what the big ones were called because there's the bullet bills, there's the small ones.
Bonsai Bill.
Bonsai
Bonsai
Thank
Bill.
you, dude. I knew there was
I
one called.
played that game a lot too.
Bonsai
Wait,
Bill.
those bullets in Mario. Sorry, I'm just
They had
catching up
names.
to this. They had names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullet
Everything-
Bill.
everything
Every
Everything
character
names.
has names.
The sun has a name.
Wow.
I
I
think
did
it's just
not
called
know
Angry
any
Sun.
of this.
I
What
don't
are those football players called?
Charging Chucks.
That's true.
Nice.
Yeah. What are the baseball players called? Do they have a name?
I don't know. They were just part of Charging Chucks.
Yeah, they're all.
They're the Charging Chucks that threw baseballs for some reason. Like
Oh
the
well,
Jap-
I mean, I
like
call
the-
them, I call
they're
them
the
football
Michael-
players, but really they were all just umpires. They just had the mask, and I.
Well, the
Recognize
Japanese
them
didn't
as-
really know the difference between all the American
Yeah.
sports. They thought we all played the same.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
fair point.
Well, Courtney, what do you got for us?
Okay, so I'm just gonna start with this one sentence from it because I think it'll set the tone for it.
Okay.
It was the story with everything. Secret papers, an evil Soviet dictator, and a zealous zoologist hell-bent on breeding a creature that was half man, half ape.
Cool. It sounds like the island of Dr. Moreau or something.
Yeah, or the start of Planet of the Apes. Okay, so this happened in the 20s in Russia. This involves a Russian biologist.
By the
Surprised
way,
me.
yeah, why these things tend to start in the 20s
In Russia.
Or, I mean, I guess
Or
in the 50s in the U.S.
In the
I mean,
US.
the 50s in the U.S. though was kind of 1920s Russia because they're just like, listen, let's just nuke everything. Let's just
Well,
raid
yeah.
everything.
It was, yeah, I don't know if they were doing biological monkey men experiments, but they were definitely like, nukes are awesome.
Yeah.
Let's just play with those.
Dude, I wonder if they ever did that test where they're like, all right, guys, what would happen if we nuke LSD? Like, what would happen, man?
What?
Fill the bomb with LSD.
Because everything was either a test
Oh.
for LSD or a nuke.
Nuke.
Yeah.
So,
So
I
just
wonder if
combine the two.
they're
That's like
just
the
like-
next logical
Or
thing
there
to
was
do.
a lot of people on LSD
that
who
are doing the
setting
nuke
off nukes.
experiments.
Oh god, that is the
They're
worst.
like, man, I really
case.
want to trip. Just hallucinate looking at the cloud or something.
So,
And
1920s
dolphins.
Russia.
1920s Russia. This is a Russian biologist by the name of Ilya Ivanov. Ivanov. Okay, we'll go with that. So there, according to what I was reading, though, there's some people who say like this was like top secret stuff, and it was only just now come out. And then there's this other person who is saying that no, actually, it was known at the time, and then because it didn't, produce anything, it just kind of like petered off, and no one, everyone kind of lost interest in it. So. You can either think of it as a secret Soviet Russian thing or not, whatever works.
Or the Russians just didn't care.
Well, they didn't care.
They were like,
Um,
meh.
And they maintained the status quo
They
pretty,
were,
Yeah.
pretty well.
They were just Russian
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. So this was all put together through scattered letters, notebooks, and diaries from different government archives. That's how they were able to put together this timeline. So Ivanov. Ivanov. There you go. How about I just point to you and you can say the name?
I will.
Okay.
Dr. Ivanov.
We'll go with that.
Zoologist, right?
Huh?
A zoologist.
Biologist.
Oh, biologist. Okay.
Biologist. So before he got into that, he was known for artificial insemination. And
As anybody who does,
What
is
a thing
prone
to be known for.
well, but think about it. In the 20s, that's a pretty advanced something
Oh.
to do. Artificial insemination.
Yeah.
You know. And so since he perfected his methods with that, and then he went on to trying to improve Russia's blood stock using sperm from the best stallions. So
What?
See, the
Hold
best
on.
part about that was he's like, I want to improve Russian horses.
yeah, so that's what he was.
You know
trying
what
to
I
do.
actually took that as? I thought you were saying he wanted to like
Fuse?
improve their blood stock, meaning like, oh, we have blood banks and we want
Oh,
to
yeah.
say,
Yeah.
let's get some horse blood.
Yes.
Why
Some
would
horse
you think
blood.
that?
Well, I mean, I thought
No, I
thought
know.
the same thing, and then it
Wait,
was
when she
just,
said horses, I was like, why is he taking blood from a horse?
Did nobody go to the
for
point of
people?
okay, he's trying to create horsemen? Clearly,
Like a centaur?
Centaurs. Well, let's save that.
Or
So he
reverse
didn't go for centaurs.
wait.
but,
So
you
it's,
know.
yeah, it's BoJack
Um,
Horseman.
BoJack Horseman.
So once he was doing that, he then started wondering about hybrids. So he actually
Next
It's,
logical
it's a
step.
slippery slope.
he actually
man. I
did
mean,
produce some hybrids. So he did produce a zedonk,
okay, I mean,
a zebra and a donkey.
yeah.
He did produce a zubron, which is a bison cow cross.
Where'd the Z come from?
I have no idea.
Well, he just
I love these
he liked the
names.
Z. He's
He was like,
I love these
Z-donk,
names.
Z-bron.
And then he also did different combinations of rats, mice, guinea pigs, and rabbits.
oh man, rat.
You know what,
and guinea
man?
pig
Yeah,
sounds-
it was.
Dude,
Rats and mice is one thing.
Dude.
You start throwing guinea pigs and
you know the weird
rabbits in
thing
there
is,
with a rat.
I'm
That's
okay
crazy.
with zebra and donkey. I'm okay with bison and cow. They're
Because they're close.
bovine.
Because
they're
they're
the
close
same.
and
But
relative.
dude,
yeah.
guinea pig and rat, whatever you get is gonna be fucked up. Dude. It's gonna be. It's not gonna be.
Dude, rabbit
natural.
and rat is.
Yeah, it's.
I know what a rabbit.
not right.
I have rabbits. Rabbit and rat it just turned into a Pikachu.
It's a rabbit.
There you go.
Rabbit. It's a
Pikachu.
rabbit.
Yeah, it's a
rabbit,
Pikachu.
a rabbit. Okay.
He didn't even
Pikachu.
come up with
It's a
names.
pretty- that-
He didn't
yeah.
even come up with names for these abominations. He
No, well,
Zabbit.
in this article they didn't mention it.
Zabbit,
so-
Zamster, Zimmy Pig.
just- Zinny pig.
So this all led to him finally in 1910 realizing, maybe we can do a human and ape hybrid.
As you're prone to do.
You
He
know, it
wants
just
to-
leads
he-
to the next logical conclusion. So
I mean, eventually he's gonna
You know
like,
what's-
he's gonna,
Eventually
like,
it's
powder
Caesar.
and dye his face white. He's gonna wear a pot on his head. He's gonna be carried around by a bunch of manservants in one of those like carrying things. I'm referencing Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
Have you guys not watched that
no.
movie? Marlon
watched it.
Brando. Basically, if we ever do a topic on that, it's basically a movie.
Can you
where-
talk about the filming of that?
Yeah, but basically all the stuff I just mentioned, being carried around by people, dyeing his entire face white,
Yeah.
wearing a pot on his head, that wasn't in the script. That was just Marlon Brando.
I
like,
remember that.
yeah.
So in 1924, he actually went to the government to try to get funding for it, and he got it.
I mean, 'cause it's a communist government. He should.
Yes. So
Wait, was it communist back then? No, it was still Russia, right?
well,
in the
this was
1920s?
the Bolshevik government.
Oh, it's the Bolsheviks. Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
Bolsheviks.
You know what I don't
they-
understand about this idea, though, as a whole? Okay, fine, you want to make hybrids of other animals, like rats and rabbits, for whatever reason. Why do you want to take a person and, like, take them down a notch? Of, like...
Well, hold on. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna
Unless
get to
he's
that.
like, I want to make super strong,
Super soldier.
It
dumb
actually-
Russian ape men.
There are three possible
Zoom-ins.
because throughout this whole thing they were like, so we know
Zates.
about him
Humanity.
doing this, but they just don't know why. And so there's three theories
Oh,
as to
okay.
why he would go through with this. So I'll get to that in a second.
One of them involves he wanted to hook up, and he wanted to make it okay.
Ah.
Let's not go take the show in that direction. So
always goes in
so the Bolshevik government allowed it. And this was at a time where a lot of people weren't allowed to travel, I guess, to other places like on the Russian dime.
Okay.
So so he was given permission to do this, backed by the Bolshevik government. In 1926, he set off for Africa, but on his way there, he stopped by the Pasteur Institute in France, and he told them his idea. So actually, let me back up a second. So some of the scientists in Russia thought he was like insane and thought this shouldn't be done, but the government's like, yeah, go ahead, go do it. And then he stopped by Paris on his way to Africa, and he told them at that institute what he was doing, and they were all for it as well. They're like, okay, let's do this. And so they were going to let him.
Fucking Frenchmen.
At that time, though, the people who were kind of crazy, people were willing to take gambles back then. Like, well, he might be right. I mean, like,
Yeah.
It's just
wait,
crazy
are
enough
you
to work,
saying,
Johnson.
Are you saying that like human beings have a subconscious and that we have all these like unconscious behaviors that that kind of stuff? People like.
Are you saying
we take that for
dolphins
granted?
Can talk to aliens?
That kind of stuff was like, oh yeah, that might be a real deal. Like 10% of that stuff turned out to be right, and the rest was just LSD for dolphins,
Or zoom-ins.
So the French, they said that, okay, actually we're for it, and we'll even let you have access to our new primate center in Guinea over in Africa. So he was going to go there. But when I think what happened is that he did go there, but the chimps weren't ready they weren't mature enough in order to mate. So he actually went back and he spent time in Paris, and he spent time with a surgeon by the name of Serge Voronov.
Surgeon Surge.
And he was becoming known for rejuvenation therapy.
Listen, you know what? Anytime that a scientist is like, I'm just going to start hanging out with this other scientist in another unrelated field, she gets weird, man.
Yeah. Let
That's
me
exactly
tell you.
what happened with what's-his-face.
So-
Try the dolphin.
So one well-known operation is when Voronov took slices of ape testes and transplanted them into aging men to help
Grafting.
them
Oh,
regain their
gosh.
former vigor.
By the way, I mean, like, who says the answer to the lack of vigor, the lack of energy in aging men is gorillas? Why not just younger men? Why can't we keep this?
I mean, also, why is that the problem you're trying to fix? You're old and you can't get a boner. Sorry, dude.
Well, but that's not
Well,
why
listen,
we now have Viagra.
Although that is,
Listen,
listen, that has been mankind's
Yeah.
number one. Two things mankind has been more worried about than anything else in medical history is how do I have sex without having a baby or getting an STD. I guess is like that's kind of
Even that took kind of
and
the
also
backseat.
how do I keep my fucking boner?
Yeah.
Pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
You know why? It's because the old guys are always the ones making decisions.
Exactly. Old white people. Man.
Yeah. The
I
younger.
don't know why they have to be white, but they are.
Yeah, generally.
No. That was. It didn't need.
See,
to be
and
said.
that could
Ryan,
that could
it
segue
didn't-
into a very political discussion, but we won't go there.
And we won't go there. And Ryan, also, I want you to know, man, that did not need to be said on this show. It is assumed.
So that's what Voronov was known for. Together, what's his name, Dr.
Ivanov.
Yeah, and Voronov. Together, they made headlines for taking a woman's ovary and transplanting it into a chimp called Nora, and then inseminating her with human sperm.
Oh, that's why.
So yeah, nothing came of it. But then that led people like, wait, so then what is he up to with his other experiments?
Wait, they gave the chimp mammary glands?
What?
No,
No,
wait,
ovaries.
Ovaries. Oh, ovaries.
What?
Oh, for some reason, when you said ovaries, I was like, they gave her.
Someone was like, "Man, I want this chimp to have some titties."
Dude, that's why I asked. Like, wait, what's the point? What's the point?
Oh.
But you know what, though? It
Yeah,
doesn't
but then when
matter.
she was like, and then they artificially inseminated her, you were like, "Oh, that's why." I was. That makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Based on your own thought process, that doesn't make any sense.
I just really thought they were like, oh yeah, let's give her breasts,
Let's give her boobs
and then
put
let's
some
give her a
sperm in her.
human male or a human baby. She's got to breastfeed, I guess. I don't know, man.
Well,
Hey,
but
pay attention to the story.
all right, so moving on. So
Thank God
going
nothing
back
came of
to
that. Jesus.
what's his name?
Ivanov.
Ivanov, thank you. I'll get it probably towards the end. So eventually he went to Guinea. He was able to
Because the
capture
chimps were ready now.
the chimps were ready, so he did return. He did capture them, but it was really difficult. And
Wait, they were wild shrimp? The shrimps?
Chimps.
Pay attention, Noosh.
Well, because he did
he
go
went
to
diving.
he went to a
put titties
primate-
on a shrimp.
he went to a primate center, so I don't know if
It's
it
probably
really
like
was
a
in the
nature reserve.
Yeah.
kind of
yeah,
deal.
maybe. So he did get that. He did bring them back. But he inseminated them there. So it was really difficult. But he
I
inseminated.
bet he
Oh,
He
yeah.
inseminated 3 of the chimps there.
And that's how HIV started.
Oh gosh.
So, but none of it took. So now his next thing his second experiment, since the first one didn't work.
He just like stuck some sperm in them and was like, see if
what
that
happened.
works.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but that obviously didn't work.
Didn't
so
he went backwards though. He already tried human ovaries
Yeah.
in a chimp with human semen. And then
And
he's
that
like,
didn't
nah,
work.
forget the ovaries. Let's
Yeah.
just throw some semen in there.
Well, okay, so that's the next step. His next conclusion
He
is
was
like,
just,
all right,
he was just trying to bang. He was
let's
just-
have
Goodness.
human women with chimp sperm.
Oh.
So that was his next thing.
This was, this
Right.
was the other side of this thing that I didn't.
Who funded this?
The
Russia.
Bolshevik
I
government.
know, but still, who said okay?
So he was going to go back. So he was going to bring some of the chimps back with him. He was going to bring 20 chimps back
By
to
the way,
stock.
mind you, just to remind everyone, during the 1920s in the Bolshevik government, there was mass homelessness, mass poverty, and starvation, and
This is why they put all their money into putting chimp semen in people.
So he was going to bring back 20 chimps to back to Russia to stock their ape nursery. But unfortunately, a lot of them died, and the only one that survived was a 26-year-old.
was it a chimp named Caesar? Because
Well,
I know his.
26-year-old
Oh no!
orangutan named Tarzan.
Oh,
So, and he did get at least 5 Russian women to volunteer for the experiment.
Hey, they were poor.
You're
they
bound
had
to.
no-
Well, that's
They were
true.
gonna take
That
one
really is-
take one for Mother
As
Russia.
much as we can make a joke about, well, you're always bound to find somebody. Actually, you are bound to find somebody if you're willing to pay for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and people are desperate enough.
Yeah.
yeah.
got
Desperate
sad.
times, desperate measures.
St. Petersburg is gloomy. St. Petersburg is bleak.
I don't know the reference.
That Anastasia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I do.
nerd.
Wait, him or me?
Him.
Oh, really? Oh, Anastasia's a
I
classic.
actually did like Anastasia. It was
Yeah,
very
beautiful.
underrated.
Yeah.
It was a
It
good
would have
one.
been better if they put some orangutans.
Yeah.
semen in
They didn't tell us about this.
I secretly always wanted to be the John Cusack character. You know,
Oh, yeah.
the greatest con in history. Like I want to be that guy.
All
I
right.
believe it.
So, unfortunately, though, he wasn't able to go through with his experiment because Tarzan died of a brain hemorrhage.
Oh.
And before
He wanted to check out. He wanted no part in this
He
experiment.
was.
yeah.
He was
He's
like,
just like,
everyone else
"I'm
died.
good."
Why am I still here?
Well, he was also 26 years old. I would imagine that's pretty old for an orangutan.
Yeah.
Dude,
Wait,
how
I
did this dude expect to get all these like apes to just live in Russia? It's fucking cold there. They're from Africa.
I don't know. Well, he was taking them back to the subtropical
Yeah.
Abkhazia.
I mean,
But-
Russia has a lot of
It's a
different.
big place. Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
have all kinds of different climates.
That's
and
where he was going
mines.
to take them for the nursery.
I'm being real stereotypical. All of Russia is
It's
cold.
everything's
Oh,
Siberia.
Russia's cold.
So, and before he can get a replacement, this was during the 30s when they were doing a purge of scientists and everything, and so he was actually exiled to Kazakhstan, and then he was released.
As you're prone to do.
He was released, but then he died soon after, so he wasn't able to do the last part of his experiment to see if it would
But
work
was
or
there
not.
someone to pick up his?
Well, no one
work?
has yet. But so let me get to
Thank
the
God.
3 possible motives of why he would do this. Okay, so the first one was that
Ivanov.
Thank you.
That
I don't
was
know
your
why.
last
I don't know
chance.
why.
That was
I don't know why I
literally
can't
your
say the
last
name.
chance.
I
Ivan
just-
Ov.
It's because
Can I just call him Ivan?
No.
It's because that natural American like vernacular, how we speak, tends to put emphasis at the end of.
Yeah,
a
I think
word
I want to try to
instead of the
sound
beginning.
Russian, but then of course I sound like an idiot. So anyway, I'm just gonna say Ivan. So a possible motive for Ivan himself was that he wanted to show that men have and people have evolved from apes, and so if he was able to be successful in this, it would show that that's how related we are. But then even more
He's
was
a scientist, and he was
What?
like under that impression. Because I mean, evolutionary theory was before that, right?
yeah.
So he
Uh-huh.
believed in evolutionary theory, but enough to believe that apes.
Yeah,
were,
I mean,
because that's like
I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I feel like by then
yeah.
we had sort of an understanding. Like, I mean, yeah, we came from them, but I mean, apes are
Well,
real.
you know,
that was a
I
long
guess
time
I
ago.
guess it's a weird thing to think of, only because if he did believe in evolutionary theory,
Yeah.
then he would know. Well, we didn't evolve from apes; we evolved from a common ancestor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
that's
so
what I'm
it's-
thinking. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying is I don't know how prevalent that was yet. Like, if
Yeah,
that was
that
if that was
might have
totally
been
understood, if they were
around
just
yet.
like we came from an ape-ish thing,
Yeah.
and they just assumed that's an ape-ish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that may be more. But the other thing of it is that it would also bolster the Bolsheviks in that it would show that Darwin was right, and so it would strike a blow against religion. So it was going against the creationist theory. And then the way it says it here is it'd be anti-religious propaganda. So it would bolster the Russian government and what they were trying to get to the people. So that's one possible thing.
And the third, he
Well-
wanted to smash.
The second
I
one,
right?
the second one has to do with the Bolshevik leaders, and
They wanted to smash.
well, in an essence, yeah.
God.
This conjecture was that they wanted him to bring back apes so they could do more of the glands for rejuvenation, so that they'd be able to
Be young again.
in that area. Yes,
Oh, they wanted
more,
Gorilla
more,
dick.
yeah,
They wanted gorilla wood, man.
more penis.
more penis, yeah.
More
Exactly.
boners. They wanted boner transplants.
Basically, when Ivanov was talking and he was saying, "I'd like to inseminate, apes and
Yeah.
humans," all this whole conversation, the Bolsheviks were looking, they're watching this whole thing, and they were just looking at the gorillas and like, he's got a big dick. I really like that.
Jesus.
Okay, so the third one, and this is what this I forget what the guy's name was, but he says that this is
Was it
probably
Ivanov?
no, it was not him. This is Alexander Etkind. He's a specialist in Russian history. So his thing, and he thinks that this is more of what the motive might have been. And I feel like it could have been this, but it's probably a mix of this and the first one with Ivanov. Ha.
Nice one.
Good one. Snuck that one.
There wasn't that pressure there.
Snuck that one in.
Of him wanting to show that we're related to apes. So the third motive is that it was to show that they really could create a socialist utopia, and this was more of like eugenics, of that they by doing this they can start to like isolate genes and really like a unique hybrid and everything. And one thing as they were saying is they can get rid of primitive traits such as competitiveness, greed, and the desire to own property.
So
So
it
it'd
was
go
like
with
They were
like
trying to breed.
a
Zootopia.
communist
We're
society. Yeah.
Zootopia. We're trying to make
Zootopia.
Zootopia, basically.
Before Zootopia came out, yes.
Well, I
This is
mean,
the
Zootopia was a
inspiration.
bunch of different animals, though.
Yeah,
That's
true.
true.
But so that's what Etkin believes, and I think it might be a combination of the third and the
Or
first.
it could just be he's like, I want to be a zany scientist. and
Yeah,
just-
that could be it too. I mean, that's pretty zany.
I mean,
He's-
listen.
he's taking women's ovaries and putting it in a chimp, and
Not just that, but
That-
here's the reason I don't know if he had that much like motive behind it, because he just first he tried.
he created a Z-donk.
Well, there's that, and then first also he tried putting the ovaries and the semen into an ape, and then he was just like, fuck it, let's just put
Literally.
let's just fuck some chimps. Like, why, if you're really going through a scientific method and you're really trying to come to some goal, what are you doing, man? Like, you're going backwards.
He is the he's
So if
from
he's-
that what's it called, the Dr. Lilly. He's from the Dr. Lilly school of thought. Just
Maybe he was on acid too.
Never know. Probably.
I think
Before it was
some
fashionable
scientists-
to be on acid conducting
some scientists
experiments.
just want to do this one thing, and they're like, how can I justify this one thing that I want to do? Give LSD to dolphins, fuck chimps.
Yeah.
You make it a scientific study. Actually, that kind of you have anything else to add?
that was it.
Before I start my story, I want to tell you guys about like 10 of like the most outrageous real scientific studies that were conducted, because they kind of fall into this idea of, I want to do this outrageous, ridiculous thing, and I want to have research funding for it. I'm going to just read you. These are the titles. These aren't even like I'm not going to tell you the studies. You can imagine what they are. I'm going to tell you just what the studies were called, okay? First, optimizing the sensory characteristics and acceptance of canned cat food. Use of a human taste panel.
I want to make people eat cat food. Next.
This one. Effects of cocaine on honeybee dance behavior.
I want to make bees dance.
Unravel that.
And have some cocaine.
Cocaine,
Dance.
honeybees, dance.
I want to make them really dance.
Yeah.
Swearing as a response to pain.
I want to hurt people.
I want to punch
I
someone
want
and
to
have them
fucking
scream.
hurt people.
Yeah. I want to punch them so hard they cuss.
Pigeons can discriminate good and bad paintings by children.
I want to make kids feel shitty.
I want to make my son cry.
I want pigeons to shit on children's work.
Emotionally and literally.
Wow.
The booty call, a compromise between men's and women's ideal mating strategies.
I want to fuck.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. This one
That had to be.
legitimately sounds like it's in the Journal of Sex and Research, and it actually sounds like that actually makes sense. Basically, what they're saying is women tend to have sex to create longer relationships.
Uh-huh.
Men tend to have sex to
Have sex.
Have sex, and so basically, well said.
You did the research for that.
And basically, what they're saying, this study was examining was just that the booty call is like this compromise. It's like
Between
in
the
the
two.
middle. Yeah, it's. I was like, oh, it's interesting. It makes sense.
Wait, is it? No, just go ahead. I'll wonder later.
You think about that at home.
Yeah.
Intermittent access to beer promotes binge-like drinking in adolescents, but not in adult Worcester rats.
Wait, what?
So basically, it's,
I want to get rats
So
drunk.
basically,
I wanna get rats
I want to
dr-
get rats drunk.
Yeah.
And then teach them to be responsible.
Yeah.
Well, and also it's kind of like I want to see if kids get drunk too. I guess it says it promotes binge drinking in adolescents.
Yeah, I
so-
can't get kids
Wait,
to get drunk.
in adolescent rats?
Rats?
Or in adolescence?
Oh, in adolescent Worcester rats, but not adult
yeah, dude,
Worcester
come
rats.
on. You think I just let's get some kids drunk and then also these rats.
I really thought
These rats have better judgment than children. I don't think that was. I think it was young rats, just like young humans, drink poorly, and then adults are responsible.
fellatio by fruit bats prolongs copulation time.
I want to
Wait,
make
fruit
bats
bats-
fuck.
Fruit bats on themselves or fruit bats
No,
on
somebody
humans?
wants to give fruit bats blowjobs.
Fruit,
Oh,
yes.
no.
Fruit, well, yeah, you have to.
I mean,
you have
I'm
to-
assuming fruit bats.
fruit bats do not give fellatio, so you are
Yeah, so-
basically working out.
Well, listen. It's not fellatio if you're using
Well,
your hand.
Do bats even have lips?
oh, maybe I don't know. I haven't read the study. Maybe they did then.
Oh.
Fruit bats. I know that bats do give each other.
do they?
Oh, I thought
head,
you were gonna say I know
but they
bats
don't-
have lips.
Okay, then
No,
that's
they don't have
about
lips.
it.
They don't like. They like lick it. They don't really
Yeah.
like. I don't want. Listen, I want to get into how
Tell
bats
us more. Tell us more.
how bats suck dick.
Welcome to another episode of Ryan and Noosh Are Dead. Ryan's talking about fellatio and bats.
You can listen. Nothing makes a blowjob sound unsexy like the word fellatio.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, they have fruit
Yeah.
bats. They got long
That's probably
tongues.
what
They
it is.
either
Is
That's what
there
it
a
is.
sexier way to make blowjob sound sexy? Because even blowjob is not really.
suck my dick.
Really
I
do
don't know. I don't really know how to.
I don't know if fellatio is really bad.
Fellatio
I think
just
fellatio
sounds
is
so
not as
mechanical
bad.
and like.
No, I think that's a little bit
sciencey.
a little more sensual than blowjob.
Yeah, girl, give me some of that fellatio. That doesn't sound good at all.
You
That's
know,
like saying I
don't
want to
think-
give you
you know what?
cunnilingus.
Guys,
I don't think
it's-
there is a
it's
sensual
it
way to
is.
say
Go
blowjob.
down. Go
Yeah,
down.
it's.
is-
I want to go down on you. Both
I'm not
both
gonna,
ways.
I'm not gonna
both
do
ways.
that. into
But even
this.
that's not very sensual.
Eh.
The best part is
Yeah.
not
There's
to.
there's
the
no way to
No,
really.
the best
You
part.
just-
The
you
best
just
part
do.
is not to say it.
Oh.
Just
Just do it.
Just,
Do it.
just no. Don't just do it. Don't
That's
just.
true.
There should be understanding.
Give him
a
a
grunt
nod.
or
Give him a
a-
nod. Just like
Give him the nod. Give
or
him the
like
nod.
or like a eye
So
contact
it's
down.
the only way
Keep
to make
looking
that
down.
act sensual is just to keep it nonverbal.
Keep-
Oh, I listen. This whole time, I thought Ken was saying the sexy way to like have a blowjob is to just do it, and I thought he meant for a girl to just like go down there and start. And he's like, no, you can't just. You were saying don't just stick your dick in somebody's mouth. I was thinking the opposite. Like
Yeah.
she would start, and then that's how you.
Oh, That's not what I was thinking either, but that's fine. Let's just move on.
Don't
to
put
the next-
things into other things before asking.
Right. And use eye
Which is
contact.
very important.
Very
Use
important.
eye contact.
Yes.
And I thought you were
And-
saying you would look at a girl and look down at your crotch like,
Oh, no,
you
no.
got to do a thing
I'm
now.
looking at hers, and I'm like
Yeah.
looking, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, like,
Listen, if you're
Doing
gonna,
that?
you don't have to. That's weird.
You know,
you just start going down there. This is a weird.
Let's start up a Facebook live video, and you can show your facial expressions
Oh,
of
God.
how you would,
Oh,
listen.
good.
you know.
guys, there is one of the running jokes about Noosh, aside from dating younger women.
and sad women
And sad
dirty
women.
women.
Both aren't true.
One of the things is
not
there's actually a
true.
video of this and a running joke that the sexy Sri Lankan is like a horror to behold. Like it will make you go limp so fast.
Who are you,
Wait,
who
not
are you trying to
limp.
get hard?
Wait, what?
That's true. It'll make you not turned on so fast.
The sexy Sri Lankan?
It'll
sexy
it'll
Sri
kill your
Lankan.
That's
boner
his
real
like.
quick.
It's like date
It'll
Mike
kill your
from
lady
The
boner.
Office.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
It was
what?
only for the ladies to. Wait, I'm confused.
The sexy Sri Lankan.
Listen, Noosh being sexy turns everyone off. That's the point
That's
he's getting
it.
to.
That's what I'm
Okay.
getting
Moving
at.
on.
Got
Moving
it.
on. More information than you ever wanted. This one's not funny. What am I even putting this here for? Are full or empty beer bottles sturdier? And does their fracture threshold suffice to break the human skull?
I want to
Okay,
break
that's like
bottles on my head.
Wow.
That's a frat boy science project.
Yeah.
Dude, it really
The last
is.
one. The last one is the nature of navel fluff.
I got a lot of
What?
belly button wisdom.
I'm
I don't know where it
surprised-
comes
What's
from.
navel fluff?
I'm surprised you didn't mention the one. I remember seeing one. I think there's actually two where they did this. They got spiders drunk to see what kind of webs they would spin,
They
and
made
then
some
they
crazy
I remember
webs.
that.
made some crazy webs, and then they also gave spiders. I feel like it was either LSD or weed to see what kind of webs
Dude,
they
Humans
spun.
just love to dose and drug animals.
Yeah.
Man. Like, what's
Yeah.
up with that?
We roofie them all the time, man. It's, you know.
Without their consent.
Yeah.
without their consent.
Consent is sexy, people. Even with animals.
Even with spiders.
Please get consent.
Okay, here's what I want to talk about. By the way, my story has a name that I've given it, but I can't tell you the name until the end, only because it gives it away. So for now, I'm going to just refer to this as the story of Jaime Iguchi. Okay? Ken knows this story well, and in fact, in the first part,
He's making
where
a face like he knows.
yeah,
and it's
he knows
not-
the story.
And it's not a good thing. It's
when I
not a
first,
good face.
I'm going to go over just some background information, and Ken, I would like it if you just fill in anything I leave out or
Okay,
anything that I need,
sure,
because
sure.
Ken knows a lot about this subject. We're going to take a trip back to Japan, because this kind of ties into our idol story. Remember the episode we had
Yeah.
on idols, that whole thing, Ryan's conversation about idol schools, all that stuff, right? So I want to talk about AKB48, you know, huge pop band, globally and especially in Japan.
And just in general, if there's 40 of them, that's
Oh, there's way more than that.
That's-
it's okay. It's a
that's
girl pop
a large
group.
group of people.
It's a girl pop group in Japan, formed in 2005. It was formed because the guy who created it, Akimoto Yasushi, he basically said that, you know, all these celebrities, these pop idols are so inaccessible to people. So he wanted to create a group that was so large and could do so many shows in various places. And they do like these meet and greets, handshakes with their fans, that the fans can meet the idols. Like they have like a communication. They can like really get to know their idols, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So the group consists of over 130 members. Spread across multiple groups. So there's AKB48, NMB48, etc. Multiple groups. AKB48 is the main group, though. The girls vary in age between 13 and mid-20s. They've sold over 5 million albums, 40 million singles. They're worth $128 million. Huge group, right? Funny thing, Akimoto is pushing, because he's on the Olympic panel for the 2020 Olympics in Japan. He's pushing for them to be the entertainers. And actually,
They're like-
the other people on the panel are like, AKB48 is the shame of Japan. And not because they hate the girls, but just because of what, they're just like a girl group. They're not like an
Yeah.
artistic
It's not art
thing.
to them.
Not to them. But I mean, like the fans, it is art.
Well, to the fans.
Yeah. There are numerous male fans of the group. They're the highest earning music act in Japan. And these fans, by the way, they analyze every aspect about these women. I mean, down to the point where, like, they know these women's measurements. Like, everything about these women.
Yeah.
They know. No, they know. Everything. They can tell which of the girls are which just by voice. Just, oh, it's so-and-so. etc. So anyway, some idols have more fans than others. Some girls are more popular. Actually, every year they have elections to vote for who is the top idol in AKB48 for this year. That sort of thing. They have rankings. Typical idols join the group in low ranks. They start off in low ranks, as in like backup singers or like understudies,
Second string,
and then they work their way up to like the main lineup, that sort of thing. And the lowest rank is called, correct me if I say it wrong, Ken. It's Kenkyusei.
Yeah, that's the trainees.
Yeah,
Pretty much means
they're
trainees.
called research students
Yeah.
or trainees. Yeah,
research students.
they're called research students. Yeah, I mean these girls dress like students in their
Yeah.
like uniforms,
Yeah.
so they're research students, and they're research students until they get placed onto the main group. New members are elected typically by the fans, and the newest generation of elected members at this time when the story takes place, which is 2011, they were up to generation 12. So there's 12 generations of girls voted in, right? So this is. Have I missed anything, Ken? Do you want to add anything? Am I
No,
good?
go ahead.
Okay. So this is the point where we start talking about Jaime Iguchi. So on June 11th, 2011, it's announced that there will be a new member to the group. This new member is in what they're calling Generation 12.5. They just had Generation 12. And so now they're doing, well, this is the start of Generation 12.5, and she's the first. And everybody's kind of like, that's weird. Why are you doing 12.5? Why not put her in 12 or go to 13, which is just too soon, but they're doing 12.5. The new member for the group, who is Jaime Iguchi, she debuted on the cover of a pop magazine called Weekly Playboy. And this is like unheard of because she's a
research assistant.
She's a research student, right? She's a research student, and she's on the cover of like a pop magazine. Like there are main lineup girls who still haven't had that honor yet, you know, and especially for her to debut like that. But this girl, Jaime Iguchi, is considered one of the most beautiful girls to ever join the group. Like she is beautiful. In fact, I can show you images of what she looks like just to give you an idea. Here, can you guys all see it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is one picture of her. Here is another picture of her.
Okay.
Here is another picture.
I
of
hope
her.
you leave all these up so the next people who come in here like
I'll leave this one up because it looks so strange, this particular one. All right, so moving on, though. So those were, that's what she looks. She's a very beautiful girl, clearly, The magazine has an interview with her, and it describes her. I'm going to use actual quotes from the magazine because I kind of love Japanese descriptions of things because they're so funny. They describe her as the ultimate love bomb, the heroine of a new age, the ultimate beautiful girl, the ultimate talented girl, the ultimate great attack, the ultimate fairy tale story.
The ultimate.
I love the ultimate great attack. What is that?
the love bomb
the
or
Japanese
the heroine of a new age. I mean, that's...
So her backstory in the magazine is explained that she auditioned. She's 16 years old. She auditioned for the group NMB48. These groups have open auditions. I mean, any girl, if you're pretty enough and can sing, dance, you can be a part of one of these groups as an understudy and work
The
your way up.
ability to sing, is that really
Yeah, it's not really
a
important.
requirement?
As long
No.
as you're
yeah,
cute.
'cause I mean, like auto-tune, hello.
Yeah, I mean, so this is, by the way, this is a way for you to get ahead without even going to those idol schools. You can be an understudy, So anyway, she auditioned for the group NMB48, which is one of those side groups, and producer Akimoto Yasushi thought of her as his favorite audition ever. He was immediately like, this is the best talented love bomb ever.
She's the ultimate love bomb.
She's the ultimate
Love
love bomb. So that's why she was immediately like just hurled into the front cover, and she was immediately like placed in the front, right? Her origins: she's a 16-year-old girl. Well, she's a girl, obviously. She's 16 years old. She's a track student at her high school, and she wants to be the lead. Like her hope is she wants to be the lead in AKB48 one day. For anyone who's interested, I wrote this down. By the way, studying up on AKB48, I'm not into like. I mean, I like Japanese pop music. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I like Korean pop music too, but I don't like get into it. I'm not like obsessive about it. But it's weird because like the more I delved into AKB48, I started finding like my favorite girl in it. And I started feeling, especially reading comment threads from these guys who are like really into it worldwide. I started feeling more like, yeah, you're right. Like Maida-chan is way cuter than Yu-chan. Like, yeah, why not? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, if you're curious about Jaime's vitals, she is
Oh my God.
152 centimeters. Bust is 82. Waist is 55. Hips are 81.
All important
Do you
stuff to know.
feel a little shitty about yourself
Yeah, I
now?
do.
Good.
I was just saying, like,
But-
feel a little dirty.
But the funny thing is, like, I feel like this is like a part of that
It is.
culture. It is.
It is.
In fact,
it's hard.
In fact, like I would.
You can't
Dude.
consider yourself a fan if you don't know those
How's this?
stats.
How's this? For just this brief story, I am an AKB48 fan. As soon as it's over, I'll have enough time to feel shame.
Yes.
But my favorite idol, if you were curious,
We're
Atsuko
not.
Maeda. She is height 161, bust 76, waist 60, hips 83.
Retired.
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 Oh, but she's still so cute though. She's like 25. She's still doing her solo career.
Yeah, she do solo stuff
Yeah,
though.
she's solo stuff now. Anyway, all right, moving on. So she was, by the way, when Aimi went in to do this cover thing, she was asked, Akimoto loved her. He asked her to come and do this photo shoot for this, fashion magazine. She thought she was going to be with the other girls. Like she's in the background, that sort of thing. So she was very surprised that she was front and center.
Yeah.
The only one, actually. Nobody else was there. It was just Akimoto's like, I want you for this shoot. I mean, let's be honest. Akimoto, for all we know, could have just been like, let me take the pictures. I don't know. I mean, we don't know. But anyway,
I
point is-
am really interested to see how eventually this will relate to experiments at all.
I told you I was reaching a little bit for this one, though. So.
This isn't a little bit. This is
Yeah.
So, anyway, she did the front cover of this one thing, right? She did the front cover. So the fans were completely stunned. I mean, by the way, these fans have favorites. They have, I mean, you guys did a story about this. You did, Courtney. They have anti-fans,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's fans, there's anti-fans. So all the fans, positive and anti, they were completely stunned that this no-name research student became the front and center on the cover of this magazine. No research members ever debuted in this way before. Typically, nobody debuts like that. Many loved her immediately. Like, literally the day that the fashion magazine came out, they created fan pages for her. Some hated her immediately, and they created anti-fan pages. She had 1,000 anti-fans in the first, day, first hour.
Which means she was
published.
successful.
She was popular. She's popular.
haters gonna hate.
Yep.
Some thought no girl could look this beautiful. In fact, many of them thought that the magazine cover had to have been photoshopped to hell. Like, there is no way somebody could look that pretty, naturally. I mean, we all know magazines Photoshop all the time. So
Yeah.
probably she doesn't look this good in real life. But, that's what they're saying. Is she is photoshopped to hell, basically. Here's some of the quotes that they said about her. Iguchi Aimi, another Mariko-sama in the making. Bring it on. Hell yeah. I like this one only because, dude, I don't know, man. By the way, I was reading through these comment threads, man, and this is how they typically talk. And it was really hard to find comments that really made sense contextually. Everything was referenced. I don't know who Mariko-sama is, but okay. Anyway.
I'm afraid you're gonna read one of mine that you don't know.
Another one. A lot of people on 2chan didn't think she was a real person when they first saw the pictures. Another one says, wow, she is pretty, but I feel she's more like solo material. She looked like she could be a model for a younger fashion magazine, like 17 or something. Another one says, she hasn't done a single thing, and she's already accomplished in the idol world.
Yeah.
Another one says, people are taking this news way too seriously. The Japanese media blows one article out of proportion, and people are either predicting the arrival of the new AKB48 savior or the Antichrist. So next, because all these people are like, dude, she is so beautiful, and there's all this talk about her, they release a TV spot the next day. Because of Aimi's, growing popularity online, and the TV commercial is for a candy company called Ezaki Glico. And this is the first time fans get to see her on video and also hear her speak. And fans are further shocked because
She
in
sounds
this
like a
commercial, oh gosh, if only. This would make way more sense, I think, if that was the case. I don't know. But no, fans are shocked because she is front and center. All the other girls, the popular girls in AKB48 are behind her. She is front and center as the new AKB48 lead girl. and they're outraged. Like the anti-fans are like pitchforks. Like they're so pissed that their girl got pushed to the back. Aimee's growing popularity. So she grows in popularity, and so do her haters. So fan reaction, right? So people, again, in this video, they're just convinced she is too beautiful to actually look like that in real life. Like, she is way too photoshopped, more than the other girls are. And also, she appears really nervous and stiff in the commercial. So they're thinking, basically, that she might not really have any talent at all. Maybe she's not even that pretty, and they're just making this...
A lot of filters.
A lot of filters. On the AKB48 website, she has recordings of her audition, but people don't even believe that's her real voice. Like she is probably a talentless person altogether. And also, they're thinking this whole thing is really strange because even the name Jaime Iguchi has the characters for Glico's ice cream product, Aisu no Mi. Like the title, like the characters are the same. So they're just like, there's something weird with her. Like this person, this new member, there's something fishy going on, and she's
a human ape hybrid.
She's not a real person.
So here's the theories. Here's the theories that exist right now, or at this time in the story. Fans basically think that Akimoto took a talentless girl and photoshopped her into a pretty pop star with a fake recording of her audition. Some thought that they photoshopped over the real girl, and the Photoshop itself was like this Frankenstein amalgamation of all the prettiest girls in AKB48. So they just took a real girl and just put other girls...
Put
layers.
everyone's face on it.
Yeah.
Some thought that all of this secrecy surrounding her was to hype up the reveal of the real Jaime Iguchi. Like, there is a real Jaime Iguchi, and all of this is just like, instead of having a silhouette of her, they're having like this fake Photoshop version of her before they reveal the real Jaime. It's just like a stunt. So here's some quotes from that period. Has anyone ever considered that she may be a real girl, but they just have been tweaking with her pictures and using CG-looking effects on her in the CM to make her seem unreal so Akimoto can get people interested in this new favorite girl? Another one says, we're going to look back on this and we're going to laugh. It's just either going to be, oh man, remember when we thought Iguchi Aimi wasn't a real person? Or, oh man, remember when we thought Iguchi Aimi was a real person? Either way, it's going to be hilarious in the future. Another one, has it been confirmed absolutely fake? Because I could totally see Akimoto intentionally muddying the waters by putting photoshopped images out there of her in order to generate more hype for her from a counter-conspiracy standpoint. Like they're putting fake images just to muddy up the real images of her. And then somebody wrote, the more I watch this, the more I want the song. I don't care if she's real or not. So here's the truth. On June 19th, so about, let's say, 8-10 days later or so, they revealed the truth. Glico revealed that Jaime Iguchi was a marketing experiment to see if fans would believe in a virtual pop star that was real.
Yeah, she wasn't real.
And also to sell ice cream.
Yeah.
She was a CGI amalgamation of Atsuko Maeda, my girl, Atsuko Maeda, her eyes, Tomomi Atano's nose, Mariko Shinoda's mouth, Yuko Oshima's hair and body, Minami Takashi's facial outline, Mayu Watanabe's eyebrows. They're just like, listen, Mayu, the only thing we like about you are your eyebrows. They are on fleek.
God.
And Yukari Sasaki's voice. And her background information, like her birthday, her hometown, everything matched up to Glico's company information after, like, more investigation. Even after the reveal, though, some people could not believe she was fake because she looked so real. She sounded real.
They
and
jerked
also,
off to her.
They jerked off to her, and they didn't want. I mean, they were in love with her, and they just didn't want to believe she was fake.
Hey, she's always real in Second Life. Second World, whatever that thing was called.
Second Life.
Second
Yeah.
Life. There you go.
Further confusion was also added because they actually afterwards had a live show where they had a live person
Hologram.
no, not a hologram, a real person who was Jaime Iguchi. But it was actually Yukari Sasaki, the voice, but they just did like makeup to kind of make her look a little bit like Jaime, and they just stuck her in the back, so you can't really get a good look at her. Anyway, finally in the end, Jaime Iguchi officially graduated from AKB48 on May 8th, 2013, so she can move on to her solo career. But
It's interesting. You guys ever watch this movie called Simone, or you could read it as Sim One? It's a movie about Al Pacino having he manages a actress that becomes superly popular, and eventually people are like, hey, we see her around, we want her in this movie. And by then he's trying to convince them that she is not real, but they do not believe him. Like, they will not believe it. That it was
What's
not,
it called?
Simone.
Simone.
Yeah.
Is it the one that has ScarJo in it? Is she
I don't-
the voice of Simone? No. Different movie.
Yeah, so pretty much she's a digital person that he somehow got someone
I feel like I've
to make
seen
it.
this.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen it too. It just feels really
You know,
familiar.
the weird thing in that movie is people refuse to believe that she was fake. That rather is like, you're trying to get rid of her or something like that. You're gonna be in trouble, sir. She disappeared, and you're gonna
Yeah.
be in trouble.
We are still on the manhunt for the the disappearance.
Yeah, it was
of
the weirdest thing. I was like,
Simone.
what will happen if like some idol or actor is just not real or computer generated? What will people think about that? I think it's pretty hard to get away
Yeah,
with
yeah.
nowadays.
They
It's
won't
so hard to
believe
get
it.
away. Yeah,
I mean, it's probably easier to make one now.
yeah.
But
You could fake out TMZ because they're following everyone. So, but you could probably fake them out somewhere.
Yeah.
You could just put a stand in. This person's going to this place. Have it all face all covered up.
you know what? I'm kind of glad she's not real, because the pictures you showed me, I was like, she looks I don't know. She looks,
Creepy, right?
Like, yeah, she looks off somehow.
I'm like, you could pick the best aspects of certain girls and you put them into one girl. And it doesn't really.
I mean, it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a human thing. I guess I don't know.
Well, it's not.
I think she's really
I mean,
pretty.
yeah, I know it's not.
And
I still think she's really pretty.
Yeah, well,
and
you
the,
know.
and the
I'm
thing.
sure there's still pictures you can.
What? No, man.
I know.
She's
No, I mean,
way-
especially
Look,
this
dude,
picture
look-
that you have up
Look
right
how
now.
clean she looks, man. That's not my. That's
I know
not
that's
something
not. That's true. That's not
I'd be
you.
into.
yeah.
They gotta Photoshop some like
Wrinkles in there or something.
Some street eyeliner, like
Yeah.
she's crying, and mess up her hair a little bit so it's dirty.
See, the interesting thing, this is not the first time they pulled something like this.
No?
They've done, this is like one of the things. They also did a campaign of, we're going to get an adult woman in there, like someone that's over the age of 25 to be in there. And they had an audition, and member was actually a part of the group for almost like 6 or 7 months.
And nobody knew that she was.
No. They were actually picking out women, hopefully housewives, that wanted to join AKB48 and be like the mommy member.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then they had this, and then they had one campaign which was so insane that was, let's mix your face and your idol's face together and let's see how your babies look like.
What the fuck?
So, and they had
Idol baby
and then
generator?
Actually, by the way, at the end of this campaign, they launched an AKB48 game, which is make your own AKB48 person by mixing
Yeah.
and matching.
Dude, that's so.
So yeah,
weird.
so
That's what sells, man.
yeah. On the the crazy thing
Make
is
your own idol.
the crazy thing was on that thing I was talking about on that cover to make your own kid, that own baby. They had Oshima Yuko actually on the advertisement breastfeeding a baby. So it was like everyone was like, "Man, when's it too far?"
Huh.
That it's like it was.
Yeah,
if you search,
that's-
if you guys search that picture online, it's kind of creepy. It's really, it's pretty
Whose
creepy.
baby is that?
Whose baby is sucking on my idol's teat?
Wow. I mean, that's also really surprising because AKB48 maintains this really cutesy, innocent image.
Hey man,
It's
sells.
no, because
Post-sex.
Noosh, it was so funny when you were saying like, oh, he's just gonna be there with a camera, just taking pictures of her. I don't know if you guys know this. He actually married one of the members of his previous group.
No. Wait,
There
of his
was a
previous
group in the 80s called Onyanko Club, and it was a very popular group, which almost had the same concept, but they only lasted for 2 to 3 years, and they fizzled out. He married one of the members.
Sounds.
Ta-da!
I mean, it sounds pretty
They're
standard.
a standard industry. I mean, Celine
You want to
Dion
make
married
it in
her
this
manager.
business?
So there's
Look
always
down
like,
at your crotch.
I was like, there's always gonna be a moment where it's like, man, who's he gonna replace his wife with this time?
Yeah. Well, we have time.
Oh, what was
for-
the title of this
Oh,
that you wanted to save till the end?
dude, I think the most appropriate title for this story is Frankenstein's waifu.
Yeah, good job.
Oh,
I mean, do we have time for one more story before
Do
we
we?
go?
Do we?
Well, we're
running low on time.
Is there
so.
anything you guys want to add in for your
Did you
stories?
wanna-
No, we're running low on time.
All right, well, I'll share this one quick one.
Okay.
So this was two doctors, the names of Herbert Wollard and Edward Carmichael. And the point of their experiment was to study the idea of injury to internal organs that causes pain that's felt elsewhere in the body. You know, it's like if you have a heart attack, you're feeling the pain in your arm.
Right.
So it's with their heart, but you're feeling the pain elsewhere. So the way they decided to do this experiment to test out, you know, to try to figure this out, they had one of the doctors. We don't know. We just know it was between these two guys. We don't know who did what to whom.
Oh my God. I already.
So one of the men lay spread eagle on a table, exposing his genitals. And then the other
Standard. All standard.
right?
I don't like where this is going.
The other one gripped the other man's scrotal sac.
Standard.
Standard. Gently cradling it, and then he rested it on a scale pan on a single testes and started piling weights onto the pan.
Oh my fuck.
And then they would just start to, you know, judge the reaction of the person that was on the table.
How do you remain objective
How do they
while
decide?
your nuts are getting
How
as
did
you
they
start to
decide?
add more weight to the pan.
So he's crushing this dude's balls.
Yes.
Yeah, who got the short straw?
Don't
and then
know.
also
they never,
how do you,
they never
how do you-
revealed it. They never revealed who was doing what.
I've always wondered too with like pain experiments, like how do you remain objective when you can like describe? Because I've seen things where guys will get like they'll get bit by a bullet ant or you know whatever, and they're like, it's like a burning sensation, I'm feeling it. And it's like, dude, how do you? I'd be just screaming. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
getting
didn't.
your nuts crushed. That's awful.
They didn't really. They kept their paper, their findings in the paper, very dry and very clinical. So I'll just go through some of the results that they came up with.
It hurts.
So yeah. Well, it was interesting. So 300 grams of weight had a little slight discomfort in the right groin, while 650 grams was severe pain on the right side of the body. So there's that.
On the right side of the body.
On the right side of the body.
You know, all I know is when you get hit in the nuts, it hurts you in the stomach. Like you feel you can throw up.
All the nerves are there.
Yeah.
Just, you feel it in your gut.
They're saying so as the weight got over 2 pounds.
Oh my fucking God.
The subject reported, quote, reported pain of a sickening character, not only in
That's the
his
stomach.
groin, but also spreading across his back. I mean, you guys would be the only ones to attest. Do you feel stuff in your back if you get hit in the
I mean,
balls?
if you get hard, if you get hit hard enough in the balls, you can feel anything. You can feel like
I've thrown up.
yeah.
Like actually
there you go.
vomited.
Well, actually, I think the truth is that if you get hit hard enough, a guy will feel so much pain that his whole body goes into reset. Like it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
what is real pain?
That's
What
a
is
hard
it?
reset.
Yeah,
Also,
like,
also, I don't think you're paying attention to like, oh, I feel it in my back.
Yeah,
I just know everything in my life sucks right now.
I really, really wish I did have a video of your guys' reactions as I was just starting it, because that was the most hilarious. I mean, I don't mean to laugh at your pain, but I am.
I mean, it's not our
because-
pain. It's
Yeah,
This pain.
this
It was-
guy's
it was
pain.
either
Is that them?
It was either Edwards or Herbert. Yes, that's them.
Also, by the way, it sucks.
I'm gonna look at their faces and try to decide who got.
Who got?
Oh, dude, it's definitely Carmichael. Look at this fucking guy's face. He definitely got smashed in the balls.
Dude, that's not what his face looked like before the experiment.
That's after.
That's an after
He's
picture.
permanently.
Oh my god.
Man,
There you go.
permanently
Man getting hit in
skewed
the.
face.
Well, I mean, all they basically concluded was that
That's
the,
the one. That's the,
testicles are pretty sensitive.
that's the only.
You think?
only thing that they tested. The only place or.
That was the only place they tested, and
What a weird.
and no one has really challenged it because no one has ever redone the experiment. So that's the only experiment that's been done.
Well, my thing. Well, I thought. Okay, so when you first went into this, saying like, oh, they want to figure out, you feel pain places when your injury's
Yeah.
actually somewhere else. They only went for the nuts, and then they were just like, we're done.
yeah.
Dude, also, poor Carmichael. He never even got to hurt the other dude back.
That's pretty much like.
Also, if you look at this other guy's face, he looks like he smashed somebody's nuts.
It's true.
Dude, Herbert Henry Woolard, you're a sick man. He's just like so smug and satisfied.
Carmichael,
And Carmichael
some
is-
fucking horrors.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
that guy's
I-
face.
Honestly, there's been a time where I sat on it wrong and.
Oh
like,
man, you don't have to do much. For
Yeah,
it.
you just sat on it wrong and.
You can sit down wrong.
Aw.
You
Yeah.
can like just tap it.
Yeah, dude.
Sometimes that's
Sometimes-
worse when you just barely get a little flick.
It's just your hand just grazing. It's like, oh god. By the way, I mean, related story, but just scientists doing outrageous things. You guys are familiar with how, I think it was like not too long ago, maybe 15, less than 20 years ago. These two, they weren't even doctors at the time. They were still like nurses, I think, but they became doctors later, and whatever. They proved, though, that ulcers are caused by like a bacteria in the stomach, and not like it has nothing to do with, or maybe it doesn't have much to do with the acidity in your stomach. It's actually a bacteria that's prevalent in the stomach that increases everything else that happens in your stomach. And nobody believed it because of the fact that it has a really specific name. Like it's like A something priori blah blah blah. But anyway, that bacteria though, nobody, like all the real doctors, these guys are in the process to become doctors, but the real doctors would not believe it because they said, listen, you sound like crazy people. You're not doctors anyway. There's no such thing as a bacteria that can survive in the environment of your stomach. It is too volatile. It's too acidic. Nothing can survive in there. And so these guys have all this evidence to prove it, but nobody's looking at it. So they did the only thing they could to prove.
They ate it.
There was a giant jar this big that was just filled with that bacteria.
Oh.
That's all that was in there. And one of the guys was like, all right, record me. And he drank it. The whole jar. Everything.
Okay.
Immediately, he had like gastritis. Like he literally, gastritis takes a little bit of time to occur. He had it within seconds.
So I'll top that with another disgusting one.
For
That
science.
when I was reaching this,
By the way, they proved it, and they got
I hope
on-
he got his doctorate for that.
yeah, seriously.
So here, we're just going to give this to you.
Just take it. There was this doctor, I forget his name. I was thinking about doing it when I was researching this, but it was when they were trying to figure out what was the cause of yellow fever. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Panda Express shrimp.
yeah, it's complicated. It has a little
We've
bit to
come
do with.
full circle.
I mean, if we're getting serious, it's colonialism and exoticism. If we're not getting serious, it's just
Panda Express shrimp.
if we're not getting serious, it's this.
Yeah.
It's just this picture of Jaime Iguchi.
Well, and they, obviously it's from mosquitoes and whatnot
right.
and everything, but this one doctor thought it had to do with the summer season. And so that's just when it was more prevalent, but that's just when more mosquitoes are. So in order to prove his point, he took the vomit of people who had yellow fever and like ate it. Obviously it's a bloodborne disease, but he just... And
How
just,
does that prove, though,
I
that
don't
it
know.
happens?
I mean,
It's because of the summertime. Let me eat your puke.
I don't know
That
the
doesn't make any
connection,
sense,
but
yeah.
it's just, hey, all in the name of science.
I mean, actually, in a way, when you think about it, like my whole thing was I wanted to do research, academic research on Pokemon Go because I thought it'd be funny. And I was already...
but eating puke's not funny.
No. But
Or getting your balls
But I'm
smashed.
saying, though, I really was just kind of like, yeah, I'm already doing this thing, and I'm kind of just, like, curious about this thing. I think it'd be funny. I'll do it. I'll do research on it. You know what I mean? People will do something they enjoy, and then they're just like, how can I get some kind of academic acknowledgement for this? I really like smashing balls. How can I get in a paper, a journal for that?
You know what? The thing that bugs me about that study, though, is like their initial thing was like, okay, all right, that's like a thing that's whatever. Why do you choose to go for the nuts? Like, you could have.
Well, but you
gone
gotta
anywhere else.
you have to give them some credit that they did it to themselves and they didn't get some poor
Actually-
schmuck off of the street
no.
to do it.
Scientifically speaking, I don't give them credit because they did it to themselves and not some poor schmuck on the street who could
Well,
be
but
less
also
biased.
it's never been replicated.
Yeah.
So, in order to have an experiment really taken seriously, you have to replicate
Yeah, I mean,
it a number
the
of
whole
times.
point of, like scientific, what's it called?
method.
Method.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to eliminate variables and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, if you're the one doing the experiment to yourself, I mean, you always have your own.
Well, I mean, I guess they would have had a little bit more. Can't think of the word, but as if maybe they did switch and let the other person do it to the other guy, because then at least they would have two sets
Yeah,
of results.
dude.
Two
Fuck
sets
that
of
dude.
results.
Yeah, dude.
So-
He didn't even. He was like, "No, I'm good. I think we got all the results we need."
And the other guy's too weak to do anything about it. He was on the ground.
Do you want more weight,
I mean, he already got
Yeah.
to 2 pounds.
dude? 2 pounds.
2
That's-
pounds on.
That's like a full knee, dude. Just sitting on it.
The thing about the testicles are. It's that just hearing about
Yeah,
that kind of pain. You
mine
feel
are
it.
mine are receding into
Yeah.
my body.
Yeah.
Talking about this right now.
Yeah.
Just going right back into the body. Help me.
Hashtag help me.
Safe place.
All right, so
Uh,
that will,
On that note.
on that note, Ken, do you have any shout outs, anything you want to signal boost before we end our
Someone go
episodes?
to the wedding with them.
I need a date by Sunday. So please.
How's this? We will post a picture of Ken on our
Oh, no.
website. We
They already
will
know how I look like.
Message any of our fans who might be interested and just go.
you
where-
can
where's it
email us
located?
at ryanandnewsharedead@gmail.com.
Where's
Or
it
Facebook
located?
or whatever.
Huh?
Yeah.
Or Facebook.
Where's the
San Marcos, this could be very nice.
It's gonna
Near-
be real-
hotel paid for?
hotel.
Oh, is this an overnight
Whoa.
thing? Or?
It might be, but
He's not.
Well,
he's
work
not
that-
saying anyone's got to do that.
No, God.
Noosh,
I'm
what
not-
are you?
No, I mean that this
Noosh.
person has
The
this-
implication.
Oh my God, no! I mean that this person, they shouldn't have to spend their own money if they're your date. You would.
Yeah,
be the
yeah,
one
yeah.
Spending your money on food, accommodations, everything.
I mean, it's a wedding. There's usually food,
Yeah.
and drinks.
Yeah.
So,
Provided.
guys, if a girl doesn't want to go to dinner with you, she don't even want free food. That's pretty bad.
Okay, yeah, we'll post a picture and we'll try to get Ken a date. If there's one thing we can do. But considering the fact that the only people we have are mothers, I don't know how, and your sister, I don't, your prospects don't look good.
She's like right there. I can't say like mothers are okay.
No, we
Why? Because
we can
I'm right
accept
here?
that.
What?
Why can't you
He's-
say that?
Oh, mothers
Never
are
mind.
okay.
It went over your. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I did go over my head.
Good.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing that.
Hey, Courtney, is your mother free on Sunday?
That's why.
Okay, see,
That's
okay,
what he was getting
that's
at.
better. That's better. Right on your head.
I could ask my mom if you'd like.
Right under your head.
Courtney, do you have anything you want to?
Nope.
Okay. All right, Ryan. I will signal boost this. I actually have a flyer, so I
Oh,
don't
so now
have
you can
to
give actual details.
actual details. On April 28th, there is going to be an event on the CSU DH campus in LSU 324, 325. It's the ballroom area, the rooms near the ballroom area. It's called Learning to Take It, a talk with Bobby Becerra. It is a thought-provoking and inspirational story of recovering from child abuse and domestic violence. We're also going to be having, I guess, some people from campus who specialize in, like, I think it's called, like, Title IX, is that what it's called? It's like the thing about, like, abuse and, like, on campus, like campus abuse. It's like reporting
Okay.
campus abuse. There's people, like counselors from that whole thing that are going to be there talking about that sort of thing, domestic abuse, child
Yeah.
abuse. So it's basically a panel on abuse. So if you're interested in going, it's on April 28th, which is a Friday, I think. See, that's the one thing they don't tell you. April 28th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's in LSU 324, 325. If you can attend, it's free. Aside from that, that is all I've got to say. Here, look, Ryan, I'll just
Yeah, I was gonna say, just let
Do
me
that.
let me do it for you.
do that. But I got, well,
Just let me know when we're.
Well, yeah, that's the end of the show. So, all right, guys, that's the end of the show. We will come back next week. Hopefully, Ryan will be back next week.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. But see you next
Fingers
time.
crossed.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Oh yeah, you gotta get swifty. You gotta get swifty in here. It's time to get swifty. Uh-oh, you gotta get swifty. Oh yeah, take off your pants and your panties. Shit on the floor. Time to get swifty in here. Gotta shit on the floor. I'm Mr. Bulldogs. I'm Mr. Bulldogs. Take a shit on the floor, take off your panties and your pants. It's time to get swifty in here. Show me what you got.
Morty, good music comes from people who are relaxed. Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh man, okay, alright,
Show me what you got. When the mother
Let's do it!
Take your pants off. It's Swifty time today.
Ryan and Noosh Are Dead is made possible thanks to KDHR, the student-operated radio station of California State University, Dominguez Hills. For more information about KDHR, please visit www.kdhr.net. The intro song for this show is Space Ace by Blind. This music is made available thanks to Overclocked Remix. For more information, please visit ocremix.org.